Hello and welcome back to Fanboy Explosion. I'm Seth Turner.
And I'm Cameron Cook.
And last time we talked about our personal gaming New Year's resolutions, but we thought it would be a fun idea to create some for the video gaming industry as a whole. So we made a list of a couple of publishers and developers here, and we're going to go through and we're going to tell them exactly what we think their New Year's resolutions should be. The first one is for our dear friends at Ubisoft. I would like your New Year's resolution to be to ship a game without exploration towers and dumb app junk. That is exactly what I wrote on here. Nothing was more
Does Far Cry have dumb app junk?
No, but when I was playing Assassin's Creed for the little time that I played it, and I came up to a chest and it said, sorry, you need to unlock this chest via the companion app, I was like...
Okay, I mean, that's pretty goofy. I will admit, as someone who has not played Unity yet, that is pretty goofy.
Yeah, I do not relish that as an idea in future Ubisoft games. Also ship games that work. I think that's fair. That's a fair New Year's resolution. It's pretty easy. Everyone else is doing it without being asked. Next up is EA. Release Mirror's Edge 2 and don't mess it up.
And by that we mean no Origin integration, right?
Yes, I think Origin's like inevitable at this point. Like the PC version
is going to bring you beautiful, beautiful sadness. You know what's coming out this year from EA, right?
Oh, there's so many games.
Star Wars.
Oh God.
Battlefront. You know what is? I guarantee you, it will use Battlelog on like the web browser.
Kill me.
It'll be the Star Wars version of Battlelog, which we hate with a fiery passion. By the way, Battlelog basically is the reason I don't play Battlefield anymore. I think it's one of the worst like matchmaking server browser. Like, just give me a server browser, infinitely better than Battlelog. Okay. But that's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah, hopefully Battlelog will not get its grimy hands on the console versions.
Well, it won't. They'll just have matchmaking. I mean, like normal games do.
Yeah, I mean, Mirror's Edge 2, please. Make it good. Let's do that. So next is Valve. And you'll hear this from me quite often. Specifically, first I wrote release Half-Life 3 because each year I know that they're going to announce it at E3 this year.
Each year, he knows wrong.
Each year I suggest, and each year, they decide that, it needs a little bit more time. People are not ready for it yet. And so I respect that, but release that damn game because literally Half-Life is the reason I'm into gaming and I want the third one, finally. I changed it from release Half-Life 3 to just release a game. In parentheses, that's not Dota 2 content. Like, that doesn't count.
That'd be cool. I'd be down with that. Day of Defeat Source 2? All right.
Yep, you heard it here. Man, Day of Defeat Source.
We love Day of Defeat, by the way. That's one of our... It's not a guilty pleasure. It's just one of those, like, really kind of simple, under-the-radar games. It's just a really simple shooter that we play whenever we're bored. And, it doesn't ever disappoint. So we'd love to see a graphics upgrade for that, some new maps.
Well, you see at E3 they're going to announce Half-Life 3 with Source Engine 2, and then they'll coincide with a announcement of a new Counter-Strike and a new Day of Defeat.
They just came out with new Counter-Strike.
No, that's totally...
But that doesn't matter because this is our wonderful fictional La La Land.
Yeah, well, no, see, Day of Defeat is going to become the new, like, cornerstone, like, flagship multiplayer shooter. Like, it's replacing Counter-Strike. Day of Defeat 2 will be replaced.
Okay, I'm down with that
too.
Yeah,
let's do that. But Valve, I know that your Steam machines are great. I encourage you to continue working on them because you think that they're super amazing. But games. Like, people will buy your things if they have games on them or if you support games. Like, Steam is such an amazing platform. But I think you said this a couple months back, and I agree. Like, ever since Steam got that visual facelift, like, they added the new icon, like, I've noticed that I haven't even been in Steam that much. And especially since they introduced the new home screen with, like, all the customizable modules.
I'm not a fan of the curators and all the stuff cluttering up my simple... I mean, it's not completely different, but it's definitely more crowded.
Yes, for sure. And, yeah, it's just one of those things that's like, Steam sales used to be like... And for many they are, but for us they used to be like red letter day of the year. Like, that was the year that we went broke. But I think the autumn and winter sales were pretty, like, I didn't get super excited about a lot of things. I didn't even buy anything, I don't think. You got a couple things, but like they were nowhere near the hype level that they used to be. And it's not losing faith in the platform. It's just like I want some games. Like I want to drink more Valve Kool-Aid.
Well, I know the
Like
year
come on.
before, one of the big things that went on sale during one of the, I think it was probably the winter sale, was Counter-Strike Global Offensive went on sale, and that was like the first time I think it had really gone on like a big
Yeah.
sale. And so I bought that, and that was a big scoop for me last year. But this year there wasn't anything big that stood out for me. I bought, I think, a couple smaller things. Um, but yeah, I agree. I mean, Valve, they make great games. It takes them a long time to make them, but they put out some amazing experiences. It'd be cool to see them, even if it's not Half-Life 3, just come out with something new and original. I mean, I think they're moving towards more, and I fear somewhat for this future, but I feel like they're moving towards games as a service, as a lot of developers
Yeah.
are, because I think that's where the money is. They're moving. TF2 is free to play, Dota 2 is free to play. It has all the, so you buy the skins and the guns and all that stuff. Even Counter-Strike, which is not a free to play game, has a lot of that too. And I think the reason we play Day of Defeat is because it doesn't have any of
Yes.
that. It is straight up like a game you pay $10 for, and you just play it, and you get all the stuff, and it's just cut and dry World War II shooter.
It's enjoyable. I mean,
so I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know if we'll see a game. I mean, I think Half-Life 3 will come out sometime. But besides that, I don't know when we'll see another Valve game that's not like a multiplayer free-to-play service. But we'll see.
yeah. I mean, we'll see. That's just the new release a game. That is the New Year's resolution for Valve. So just do that. Activision, yours is very simple. Bring back Kevin Spacey. Good. Moving on. No, seriously, like, Call of Duty this year, a lot of people agree that it was the best it's been in a long time. Whether or not they can keep up that momentum, and I don't actually mean bring back Kevin Spacey, but what I'm talking about is continue this upward trend of focusing on, making Call of Duty something that people care about again. Like, a lot of people care about it, but like, I feel like the gaming community as a whole has kind of like, oh, okay, here's another Call of Duty, it's coming, And this year's
they have.
yeah, this year's exosuits kind of gave it a second wind. I would love to see this second wind. I'm not saying like do exosuits again because like, that probably won't work as good the second time, but like continue that innovative thinking, like come up with new experiences because, most people that are into Call of Duty, like super hardcore, they're going to buy like, whatever, like they're there for the Call of Duty experience, but if you want to gain back a lot of the people that have kind of drifted away, like it's going to be in the new experiences that you could offer. And Kevin Spacey was just one of those, like when I first heard it, I was like, what the heck? Why is Kevin Spacey like, that's the weirdest like endorsement I've ever heard. But then I played the game and I was like, oh, okay, I can get this. Like he's a good villain.
Yeah, he works well with the story. He definitely adds some gravitas, to that narrative.
Yeah, and I mean that narrative was like, it was good, but you totally saw what was coming.
Yeah, it wasn't like anything shocking, really.
Yeah, and some could argue that the end is a little lackluster, but I don't want to spoil anything like that. But I would encourage you to continue that trend of let's think different, let's try and get this thing rolling. So that's for you, Activision. You come a long way since I think you were the butt of the year a couple years back, but
I think unjustly. I think they keep getting. I think for the past, no, was it EA the past 2 years that got like the worst company of the year? It was EA.
Yeah, EA got some bad
which
ones.
I don't think is justified. But Activision has a bad rap too. Basically every game company for some reason has a rap. I think this year it was Ubisoft, and maybe a little more deservedly than some companies in the past, just because Unity was kind of a train wreck when it came out. But yeah, those are good resolutions.
Yeah. So I've got 3 more, and then we'll be done. And these are for
oh
the
my
big,
god, three more.
Well, there's 3 more for the big game companies. So the first one's for Microsoft. And specifically, I think that you should take this time to discover how you can make the Xbox One shine bright. That's exactly what I wrote down, and that is because as a company, Microsoft is the most interesting I think it's been in over 20 years. Like the ideas that are coming from there, like what they've done with the Xbox One to kind of literally salvage like the train wreck of their original announcement. Like I'm really impressed this year. You know, we had a ton of amazing exclusives. You know, we talked about some of those last podcast. But what I want Microsoft to continue to do is continue to think differently, figure out a way that you can make the Xbox One become its own unique experience. And because at this point, the cross-platform stuff, like that is there for both of them, and it's going to be hard to sell your console based on that alone. People are going to be looking for the console experience and your first-party games to determine which one they should get. I was sad to see that the price for the Xbox One went back up to $399.
I know, isn't that strange? That's really strange.
It's really strange.
I mean, I know they said that from the beginning. I did not fully believe that they would bump the price back up.
Yeah.
But I mean, it accomplished its goal. They sold a lot of Xboxes this holiday season. I mean, so that was what they were shooting for, and that's what they did. But yeah, it's a little strange for them to jump the price back up.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna hurt them come E3. I think that when they do announce, inevitably, both companies will probably announce a price drop. Maybe, I think definitely, but you know, Sony's in such a position they don't have to, but we'll see. But now it's like if you do announce a $50 price drop, whoop-de-doo, it's the same price it was at Christmas.
Exactly.
On the other side of that coin is if they can come out at E3 and just be like, I'm talking WWE Super Slam, like come out like a showman and just be like, check out all these games and just show all this amazing content and be like, all of this stuff is coming in the next, 3 to 6 months, and we're dropping the price of the Xbox. These are all the new bundles. Get your shit together because this shit's going down right now. Like, if they can do that, I think it will be exciting because they'll be, like this year, the reason it was so exciting was because of the bundles. People could get even the broken shell of Assassin's Creed. They were able to get that and Black Flag.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
The Sunset Overdrive bundle basically sold out. The people really loved that, and it was a great chance. If they can do that again with new games, that's going to be really cool. And we both know Halo 5 is coming, and that's going to be a huge opportunity.
That'll be big.
So
that'll be big.
So that's
cool.
So that's Microsoft. Sony's. We said last podcast that neither of us are like PlayStation Nation, like super big fans, but we are aware enough of what's going on there.
Okay, to be fair, we like Sony.
Oh yeah, we like
just
Sony.
Don't own anything. I mean, you have a PS3.
I have a PS3. I love Uncharted.
I have a PS2, and I love my PS2, but I just never I play Xbox for Halo, primarily, and that's what all my friends played at the time and for multiplayer. So that's just why I never jumped on the PlayStation. And but yeah, okay. So what are your expectations or resolutions for Sony this year?
So Sony has done an amazing job at getting their market to be ginormous, and I would encourage them to use your power. As Uncle Ben says, with great power comes great responsibility. Use your power for good. Try and push gaming forward. You've been very accepting of indies and third parties, and you've done really good on that. I think several PlayStation fans have expressed kind of like the desire for more first-party content. I think the Order 1886 is going to scratch some itches that people have had. They've got some other exclusives coming, but right now, you are the industry leader as far as home consoles are concerned, and so the spotlight is on you to be the innovator and the leader. I want Microsoft to continue their innovation, but the fact of the matter is right now you have more units. The press is more focused on you as the leader. Use that as a platform to differentiate your brand and make gaming better than it was a year before. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I think they're doing some of that now, like with PlayStation Now. That's pretty interesting. How they do the subscription method. You get unlimited games from their selection for I think it's like $20 a month or something.
Project Morpheus as well.
Project Morpheus. I mean, they are doing some interesting things now because they are the leader. You could almost say they don't have to innovate as much. They don't have to push the boundaries as much because they're clearly ahead and they're clearly winning. Microsoft has been kind of scrambling to make up for that, and that's pushed them to do some new things, I think. But Sony, I mean, they could take it easy and just kind of chill and lounge back, but I think they are pushing ahead, and I think they are pushing some boundaries, and there's definitely a lot of stuff to be excited for in the coming year for PlayStation.
Yes, that's really the point I want to make with this is you don't have to, but please do. because if you think about it, the reputation of console gaming kind of sits in your hands, and all of your fans are expecting great things from you. And you're in a great spot to really make console gaming shine and throw off this reputation that the current gen consoles have of being, kind of, I don't want to say inferior, but like a lot of people were like, I'm going to opt out of these for the PC.
I mean, they were lackluster when they came out, both consoles. They weren't, I mean, there wasn't that immediate need to upgrade. I mean, which is why we even waited almost a year before we upgraded, but they've definitely improved a lot since then.
Yeah, that's what I would say for them. And then finally, everyone's favorite, Nintendo. All I ask is ship Zelda for Wii U. I don't think that it will get delayed.
That's a pretty big goal.
I really hope that you do not delay it. The Wii U needs Zelda this year because Smash helped, Mario Kart helped. I think Mario Kart probably helped better than Smash did to push consoles. Because I think that basically anyone who was into Smash has probably already had a Wii U from previously from Bayonetta or something, some other kind of like core, like I don't know how to describe this, but like hardcore gamer franchise, like something that you could really sink your teeth into. But Zelda is going to be a huge opportunity to push more consoles and get more Wii U's and more homes, and just please ship it this year if you can do that.
It'll be big. I mean, I think E3 this year for Nintendo is probably more than anyone else. I think is going to be really big. Because Smash Brothers has kind of dominated their E3s. I think, especially this last E3, it was a lot of Smash Brothers.
Yep.
And that's out now. It's out in the wild. That people are loving it, and definitely sold well, and it's helping the Wii U. But Zelda's going to be the big one, and I think maybe seeing something new come out. Seeing a new announcement. I always will eternally have my fingers crossed for anything new coming from Retro Studios. I mean, they've been on.
Yes, I put down also Metroid.
Yeah, they've been on Donkey Kong. I mean, they're which are great. Tropical Freeze is really good. Donkey Kong Country Returns is excellent. Now they've done 2 games in that franchise. I'd really like them to see them do another Nintendo franchise or return to Metroid. Which is they're known for Metroid Prime. They completely brought Metroid back. I mean, you imagine Metroid Prime on the Wii U with the gamepad. There are so many possibilities.
Oh yeah.
Either as a first-person Metroid or a side-scrolling, Metroid. There are so many possibilities, and I think I don't know if Nintendo will. But this year is going to be really big in terms of, I think, announcements from them. So we'll
have to see. For sure. The follow-up I had to that is, I got this amiibo a couple days ago. It's pretty neat that I can bring it into Smash, but I'm really excited to see what amiibo could do. It sounds kind of dumb, but that new 3DS is going to support amiibos out of the box, and I've heard a lot of people who own 3DSs say that they're getting the new 3DS. So I really am anxious to see how they're going to use amiibo for things other than Smash specifically, but like give me a reason to want to go out and buy all of them outside of the fact of just collect them all, and
just they have to have a game. There has to be something to do with them. Yeah. And I mean, well, Zelda will have you covered. If they ship Zelda, then all the Zelda amiibos will be ready to roll.
Exactly. And like the way they're incorporated into Smash is really great. But they still don't have that same appeal, I think, that Skylanders and Disney Infinity have of like, you're playing the game, you just slam it down on the mat, and that thing pops into the game. Like, amiibos are still like, you're at the loading screen, you just scan in an amiibo instead of clicking load, computer player or whatever.
Yeah.
So like, there's still a lot of excitement that could be there. But yeah, just imagine if you're like playing Zelda, and then all of a sudden, you have an amiibo that you can slam down and get some kind of like bonus power or something, nothing game breaking, but something that, could make me feel awesome about buying this purchase. And then, you definitely don't want to lock any content behind that stuff, but unless it's, like,
well, you're going to they have to. I mean, if you look at Hyrule Warriors, it's kind of what you're saying. They do it in Hyrule Warriors. I think that you get the I don't even know what it's called, forgive me. The little spinning top thing, I think is what you get. Like you put Link amiibo in Hyrule Warriors, that's what you
Yeah.
get, and you can like ride around on that, and maybe there's something else you get as well. So that's content that you can't get otherwise, but it's not a huge deal. It's not like a deal breaker. But where's that balance between
Yeah.
must have content, I have to get this amiibo so I can use this awesome ability, and then you or just having lackluster content that no one cares about and you don't want to buy an amiibo for. So where there's a line somewhere where you gotta kind of sit on the middle and attract people, but without angering them that you're locking substantial stuff behind the paywall,
Yeah.
so to speak.
I just had a thought about this. Like, one way you could approach this is if you do something like you did with A Link Between Worlds with the item renting. Like, imagine, whatever Zelda's representation in the new game is going to be, whether it's, we don't know anything about the new game, but, imagine if you go out and buy that Zelda amiibo and you scan her in, and then, like, you get the item just by having the amiibo rather than having to collect the 300 some odd rupees. So it's not game breaking, but it's it's like, oh man, I need the boomerang right now, but I don't have the boomerang with me. Bloop, scan in,
pay $12.99.
Well, it's at that point it's like I
insert credit card here.
Well, yeah, I mean, but like I could go get the item from the shop. But that would just be one example of like a novelty that's like, oh man, it would make me feel cool in that moment of like scanning in the amiibo and getting the item.
Yeah, I could see something like that. Maybe. I don't know how the rental system, like, I don't know if we'll see that again or not, but.
Yeah, I mean, probably not. That worked on mobile, but I don't know if that would carry over very good on the actual like television platform, but we'll see. But I want to see something fresh from amiibo. You've got amazing franchises. Splatoon is coming out this year. Like, that's a new IP. If there are Splatoon amiibos, I love those characters. They are the cutest things I've seen, and I will buy Splatoon amiibos, at least one, if not all of them, depending on their cuteness level. So there you go.
Okay, well, I mean, I think that's a good goal for Nintendo because the resolution for shipping Zelda, because at one point it wasn't clear if Nintendo was going to ship Super Smash Bros. This year. I think we got down to maybe like September or something, and Smash Bros. Did not have a definitive release date. They just kept saying it's going to be out holiday. It's going to be out holiday. They didn't have a release date. I think October rolled around, still no release date, and then bam, they dropped it. The game came out like 2 weeks later. That was incredibly last minute and very strange, and everyone was very concerned. So hopefully they avoid that with Zelda. Hopefully at E3 this year, they drop a release date for Zelda, like a specific, it is going to be this date.
That's lofty.
That is lofty. I don't know if they'll do it, but hopefully. I think I would like to see that.
It's realistic from like they should be doing that. But in Super Smash Bros. Defense, when it came out, it was flawless victory.
Well, it was, and I would almost always rather someone delay a game than not delay a game and it be more flawed because of it. I'm just saying, I mean, if they are serious about it coming out this year, like, they should be able to, if they are 100% they want it to come out this year, they should be able to give a reasonable, like, set a date that is not going to affect the, like, quality of the game. If they are 100% going to do it for this year, they should be able to say, oh, December 12th, the game will be done.
I agree.
And they should be able to get it out. Now, if it's not going to be done by December 12th, okay, then, push it till next year. But then you have to backtrack on what you've been telling people. And like I said, I would rather them do that than release a lesser game. But, companies don't like to do that a lot of times. It makes them look silly and goofy because they said one thing and they're doing another. So.
Well, and I think that Nintendo realizes the position they're in, though. And if they ship a broken Zelda game, it's over. I mean, they won't. They
won't
allow it.
That's the thing. Nintendo seal of quality still actually does mean something.
Yes.
At least for their own Nintendo first-party games. You've never seen an unpolished first-party Nintendo game, just about. And I mean, I think that's why we love them. And Smash Brothers is near flawless. If you like that kind of game, I mean, it's hard to find much wrong with it. So, and that's because they took their time. And they never did give a specific release date until the very last second, when I guess they were 100% it was going to be everything they wanted it to be. So, We'll see. Let's just hope. We hope Zelda comes out this year.
Yep, very much so. That was the last one that I had. Did you have anything you'd like to add?
I think that about covers it.
Cool. Well, as always, thank you for listening. You can visit fanboyexplosion.com to keep up with all the latest episodes. You can also follow us on Twitter at Fanboy Explosion. And new feature, we are now officially listed on the iTunes podcast directory, so you can go and subscribe, have all the newest episodes downloaded straight to your favorite device, easier than ever. You listen how you want to. So you can follow my personal Twitter account at Darth Turner, and
you can follow me at CLK Gamer.
As always, thank you, and we'll see you next time.